how did you get started doing this?
Um, that's kind of a tough one. There's not an absolute pinpoint date. I didn't go to school for this. It just kind of landed. But um, my love and empathy for animals goes way back. And there was a time, I think I was probably 10 or 12 maybe, and I had found a dog in the neighborhood with a friend. And so I literally grabbed a rope and tied it around his neck, and we went knocking on the doors and everything. We didn't know. So um, basically, giving up, kind of walking back home. There's a street that goes by my house that is dead end on one side. It's actually like a L intersection. And then there's a golf course. And I had a cat at the time that would just love to go and hang out over at the golf course and, stare at all the birds and that kind of thing. So I happened to notice that my cat was in the middle of the road about the same time as I heard this guy kind of doing a burnout at the end of the street. And the dog that was with me, it was paying a lot of attention to the cat. And it was like in that amount of time, I made the decision like, I'm hoping that my cat gets out of the road because the guy's moving. And as he ended up passing me, I saw that he was actually watching me the whole time. But I had the impulse and the thought of this dog is so keyed up on my cat that if I let the dog go, my cat lives, but I guarantee if the dog's dead. And I couldn't let go of the dog. Even watching my own cat, like literally in slow motion, bouncing like a basketball underneath the car, my cat died. So, there's that. There's some things that just, that bite you and sting,
That change you
Oh,
in the
100%.
moment.
100%. So, and I had a dog, I think I was probably about 7 that got into snail bait. And I watched her die on the other side of the glass. I yelled and screamed at my mom and dad. And, they came, but, by the time that we got her to the vet, it was too late. So, you see these things as a kid and they carry through their memories that just, they don't escape you. And so when you see other animals in trouble, you know what happens. You know what the end is going to be like. And so I'm fortunate that I've got a pretty wide skill set that I can apply to all different situations and scenarios and remove them from that end that I know will come. So, it comes to us all, right?
Yeah.
But if it can be a softer ending, I'm a lot better with that. So
Yeah.
I'll go to great lengths to do whatever it takes to save a dog. And I've never once quit. So haven't gotten every single one. I'll be straight up with that. There's other things that happen, other people that get involved, other, traffic situations, things like that. There's some dogs that get into environments where they're just never found, and we can make assumptions, but, but for the most part, if I get eyes on them, generally speaking, I can figure out a way to get them.
What would you say the percentage your success rate is?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't, that to me is not important.
Okay.
I am driven.
Yeah. Well, everyone that
guys.
we've worked on, you're at 100%. So.
Yeah, and I don't even like saying that.
Because you don't want to jinx it.
No.
Okay, I'll knock on some wood.
Yeah, right. You're right here.
Right here.
Yeah, that's not something that
It's not how you measure success.
No, not at all. Not at all. It is everything about that one dog. And I've had people I've seen on posts going, yeah, Mike helped me several years ago and saved my dog. And I'm like, I don't even remember their name.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go kind of look on their profile or something, or friends. I'm like, okay. And then I look and I'm seeing pictures of the dogs. Sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that one, right?
Yeah.
Some of these dogs in the rescue stick with you, and some were maybe easier, and so they kind of don't. But yeah, as far as the number, I dealt with trappers who like to throw around percentages and like to throw around, oh, I've got this many dogs and all that. And I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
Why is that important?
Because it's not really a sport.
No,
right?
it's not.
This is not a sport.
It's
this is life and death.
Right, exactly. I mean, yeah, it's just ridiculous to me the way that success is measured in people's own minds.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, every human being's got ego to a degree,
Mm-hmm.
but some are much more inflated than others. And I just kind of put it into that category. So, I mean, honestly, I don't know how many dogs I've saved. I don't know what the percentages are. I can say that it's pretty good. I don't even want to throw a number at it because I don't know. I really don't
Yeah.
know. So, guarantee you one thing is I will give it 100% and do whatever it takes. And I've got some, history with some dogs that have had to actually create uh, high-tech devices and blend them with primitive capture techniques, and it's worked. So, and some of them I've gotten kind of just in the nick of time, where any longer down that road, and they probably wouldn't have survived.
Hmm.
And the whole time I'm just going crazy, like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And so I've developed techniques even to get certain dogs. So
Well, I know that even, what was it, last week or the week before during the hurricane?
yeah,
I got a text saying, "Hey guys,
want to
I
come
mean,
help?
I want to come help me with this husky."
Yeah, yeah,
At like 10 p.m. during the hurricane. So
yeah.
you don't give up.
No,
And you got that dog.
I did.
Yeah.
Not that night.
Not that night, but the
Not
next
that night.
day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got up to where the dog was over an hour, and I was talking to the homeowner where the dog had gone into the backyard,
Uh-huh.
and it was a lower fence on one side than he suggested, and then he had this really huge, iron closing gate and that kind of stuff. So we thought the dog. I was told the dog was there. He could see the dog on security cameras in the backyard. So I'm like, okay, I'll be there in an hour. And he's like, what? An hour? I'm like,
Can't teleport myself.
it's starting to rain. You are 47 miles away or whatever, that kind of stuff. And yes, it'll be an hour, but I'm heading there. And he was just a homeowner. And the woman who was local, who had been vested in this dog and got the call, she was out front. And I just told her, I said, just sit tight out front. And we threw blankets over this wrought iron fence to take away the vision, like, well, maybe I can get through that, or that's the escape. So sure enough, the dog, once that gate was closed, went up and started like chewing on it and rattling this 1,000-pound gate,
Oh my goodness.
and then gave up and went and just kind of crashed under a bush. So I get there, dog's on the backyard. Oh, so he checked his security footage. 9 minutes before I got there, dog was seen exiting. Now the only thing that we could assume was that she actually cleared the fence out in the front.
She was a husky?
She was a German Shepherd.
Shepherd.
Yeah, 50-pounder, pretty slender, plenty athletic. So, yeah, so, yeah, she got out. And I'm like, well, I'm here. So here's what we're going to do. And so we did a lot more work while I was here. And it was funny because the rain gear that I've got is high visibility stuff. So bright orange, reflective, that kind of stuff. Because I might be in the middle of a highway or something doing what I got to do. So I didn't want to wear that because dogs may trip out on that, going like, "What the hell?" So I had sweatshirt, t-shirt, that kind of stuff, and I'm like, getting wet tonight. So I took the phone off, wallet out. I'm like, sweatshirt's over here because I gotta have something dry on the way home, But I mean, I was absolutely saturated, soaked to the bone in minutes. But I'm like, it's what we do.
I mean, once in a lifetime hurricane in
Right,
SoCal while
Right.
you're out doing some life saving work.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Things you do. Things
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah. So I can go home, take a shower, and go to bed. The
Right.
dog, maybe not.
Feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we got that one.
Yay.
Yeah, that was fun.